3, 2, hold on. Go. Hello everyone. This is Sarah Cox. I am the founder of A Day to Be Me. Today we are discussing a relationship between freedom and discipline. I have written the blog post and I will be putting links under the description. As I said, I'm Sarah.
I'm Alex.
And I'm
Alex
Kevin.
So today we're going to discuss the past introduction podcast, and Alex can take it away.
All right. So yeah, on our previous podcasts, we introduced ourselves. A Day to Be Me is a self-help blueprint for those through the lens of those who have overcome and have owned their disabilities and abilities, and hopefully the previous podcast we did well in introducing our products. So we talked about the adversities that we've overcome, and hopefully can help many people, providing a blueprint to live the best versions of themselves through life. So I've personally been inspired through Callie and her product, and also through Jordan Peterson podcast, Michaela Peterson, and a couple other self-help podcasts that are out there, Jocko Willink, among others. So this idea for the podcast, I think, is a great way to reach out to people, because podcasts are really big these days. We got like figures like Joe Rogan Experience, Jocko Willink, and I figured the podcast would be a great way to launch our self-help and to reach more people, and to help them out.
Yeah, we got to.
I'm gonna go on. So freedom and discipline, starting with the topic of that you cannot have freedom without discipline. Discipline are the different types of rules that you give yourself on a day to day, or even week to week, month to month. They're the little rules, the big rules that you follow in order to reach your goal of either that being independence or a new job or a new business.
Exactly. And I think some people associate discipline as a chore or something that is negative, and it's something that is looked at as a chore. But that's not the case. A discipline is a skill set. It's a skill, and with the freedoms that come from discipline are the way that I look at it. I think of it as an analogy through like matter and the forces that keep matter together. So discipline is like the glue. It's the force that keeps freedom together. It keeps the matter of freedom together.
Yeah.
Like, for example, weight loss. I used to struggle with this as a kid when I was younger. As a teenager, in my college days, I peaked at 300 pounds back in college. However, nowadays, as you can see, most of that is gone. And the freedoms that I got out of that through that discipline are numerous. I can go to the beach and run along the sand, like on my days off whenever I want to. Also, I've disciplined myself to basically become the best version of a working class citizen that I can. So I discipline myself to go to work every day. And that has also given me financial freedom and discipline as well. So the freedoms that come out of discipline, and also learning skill sets too. So discipline is a learning process. So you learn many different skill sets.
Yeah, over time.
Now, I have some faults of my own when it comes to discipline. I'm not a disciplined studier. You can't just give me a book and say, read this, and I'm going to get it right off the bat. I actually have to go out and physically do the stuff. So becoming familiar with what disciplines you're good at and ones that you're not, you can optimize your learning ability in that way. Another thing I want to point out too is the reason that discipline is looked at as a chore is because the discipline has got to come from within. It has to come from within. You you can't discipline me where it works to the fullest from the external. A lot of people don't like being told what to do. The ego definitely doesn't like to be told what to do from the external world.
Yeah, wants to push back.
Yeah. It is like reactive armor. Being disciplined from the outside is, for some people, it makes them want to do it less because it's reacting in a rebellious manner with the ego and with the ego in place. So I found that it's almost like the detachment from the external. It's got to come from within. That's why some people who come from undisciplined families, say the father figure has addictions, or that's why sometimes usually the next generation from that learns from that and they become super squared away disciplined people and very skilled at their craft. And then the other way around, we could have a family that's pretty well put together and they have it all together, but sometimes the discipline isn't there for the next generation because they have it easy. They haven't had that adversity, have that self-discipline on its own. So the discipline has got to come from within. It does not come from your parents. It doesn't come from. It comes to a good degree from your environment, but as an individual, we can manipulate our environment to make it easier for ourselves to discipline ourselves, to learn new skill sets.
And get better.
Exactly. We can, as an individual, have the power to make those changes ourselves. It comes with a choice.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Yeah.
So in the ways that I have practiced discipline and getting my freedoms, I have worked really hard on controlling a lot of my behaviors. I used to have violent behaviors all the time, every day. And I used to self-harm. I used to do a bunch of things. And I have finally put the discipline into working on those problems and also working on being able to put together my mind and my intelligence to create this A Day to Be Me brand. Now, had I not had discipline, I would not be the CEO of A Day to Be Me. I would not have published my own book, and the book will be in the link. I will not have started my own website and my own blog, so discipline is a very, very good skill set.
So what advice would you have, say, for someone who is like younger, like in their teenage years, where they haven't quite developed that part of the brain yet, and how they probably don't see it this way at that time in their lives? I mean, should they be patient with themselves? And so what advice should you give someone who doesn't quite see discipline in this way?
Absolutely, you should be patient with yourself. But if you're having trouble motivating yourself to the small rules that you set up, you can always do stuff like make a schedule with the rules that you're setting up. You can write down different dates that you want to do. Definitely reward yourself after you have completed something that is hard for you. Like if you're dieting to lose weight, reward yourself with a healthy treat. Or if you're going to start a business like I did, reward yourself with knowing that you did a great job and looking back on your work and seeing how it's coming. Always give yourself that reward so it will motivate you to become a better person.
Exactly. And that will set you up for that reward system will set your brain up to say, oh, this is good. So once I do this, then I have the freedom to do what I want with it.
More.
Absolutely.
also want to point out to people who are younger, who aren't seeing discipline in this way. Look at who do you admire? Like, ask yourself, who do you see in either movies or even fictional or even non-fictional people, like people that really inspire you, that you
Video game.
that you aren't jealous of, but you are you idolize. Like, oh my God, I want to be that guy, or I want to be like that girl. And what makes them that way? Like, what disciplines do they go through to get to be that way? So, and it's okay to steal those ideas from them. That's okay. It's sanctioned intellectual property theft. It's okay. You can implement those disciplines that they take into your own life and see what happens.
But make sure it has a positive impact
Yeah,
on you. You don't want to develop negative habits.
influences.
Right. So sift through the idols that you idolize that are positive, and versus the negative ones. And
yeah,
like, for example, my weight loss, I started paying attention to the military veterans and the disciplines that they have when they retire, and what they've been through. I started listening to Jocko Willink podcasts, and I started following Pat McNamara's workouts, and it's fun. The way that they discipline themselves, it's fun. It's not a chore. And Pat Mac is a time maximizer, and I've really taken kind of followed his way of maximizing my time. So like at the end of the day, I feel good. Like I can reward myself at the end of the day and say, go to bed. I'm like, I did good today. I got what I wanted to do done.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
instead of at the end of the day going to bed like, I want to forget now. So getting the day that we want, and that takes discipline, but it's not a chore at that point. It's so you have the day that you want.
And so that you have the life that you want in the end.
Right. You gotta also specify what you want as well.
Absolutely. And then make a plan to gain that.
There's a lot of people that don't know what they want, and that's okay too. If you're in a spot where you don't really know, exposure, you'll land on something that you're good at. You'll land on something that you'll find that grips you.
Are you not sick?
That's interesting. And
Research something that you are passionate in and find that exposure that you need.
and you'll find disciplines to achieve that, and then the freedoms will come.
Yes, they will.
Okay.